In the world of Chinese entertainment, audiences are often drawn to the loudest moments. A viral stare, a dramatic hug, a red carpet interaction, or a dating rumor can instantly dominate social media. But sometimes the most fascinating connection between two stars is the one that unfolds quietly, almost invisibly, in the spaces between the headlines. That is exactly what happened with Shen Yu and Zheyuan. For many viewers, they were simply two popular actors who crossed paths in the same industry. Fans discussed their visuals, their projects, and their occasional interactions, but very few people paid attention to the subtle rhythm that seemed to exist whenever they were in the same frame. It was not the kind of chemistry that explodes immediately. It was the kind that reveals itself only if you watch closely. What made their dynamic so interesting was the contrast between them. Shen Yu has always carried a naturally grounded presence. She rarely tries to dominate a scene with excessive intensity. Her charm often comes from small expressions, quick reactions, and an almost effortless sense of relatability. Zheyuan, on the other hand, tends to bring a brighter and more outward energy. He can appear playful, expressive, and quick to react, which creates a different emotional temperature on screen and off. When those two energies meet, something unusual happens. Instead of competing for attention, they seem to balance each other. In group settings, Shen Yu often becomes the calm center while Zheyuan provides movement around that center. It creates a feeling that one is stabilizing the moment while the other is giving it life. Many people mistake chemistry for romance, but chemistry is much broader than that. The strongest screen partnerships are often built on timing, trust, and emotional responsiveness. Watch carefully and you will notice that Zheyuan frequently reacts to Shen Yu's expressions rather than simply waiting for his turn to speak. Likewise, Shen Yu often adjusts her own reactions in response to his energy, creating a conversation that feels fluid instead of rehearsed. This is why some of their interactions feel surprisingly natural even when nothing particularly dramatic is happening. A brief glance, a shared laugh, or a casual exchange can leave a stronger impression than a scripted romantic scene. The audience may not consciously register it, but they sense that both actors are genuinely listening to each other. Another reason this dynamic went unnoticed is that neither of them tends to force fan service in the way some celebrity pairings do. In an era where exaggerated interactions are often clipped for social media, their moments can seem almost too subtle to trend. Yet that subtlety is precisely what gives them authenticity. There is also an interesting emotional pattern in the way they present themselves together. Zheyuan's playful side often becomes more noticeable around people who make him comfortable, while Shen Yu's quieter humor tends to emerge when the atmosphere is relaxed. When those two versions of themselves appear at the same time, the interaction feels less like two celebrities performing and more like two people enjoying the moment. Fans who revisit old interviews or behind-the-scenes clips often notice details they missed the first time. Shen Yu sometimes smiles before Zheyuan finishes a joke, as if she already understands where he is going. He, in turn, often looks toward her reaction after saying something funny, almost checking whether she found it amusing. These are tiny behavioral cues, but they reveal familiarity and attentiveness. What makes this especially compelling is that their connection does not rely on constant physical closeness. Some pairings generate attention through touch, while Shen Yu and Zheyuan often create warmth through eye contact and reaction timing. That is a much harder quality to fake because it depends on mutual awareness. Their personalities also seem to complement each other in a way that many viewers overlook. Shen Yu's humor is frequently understated and observational. Zheyuan's humor is often more spontaneous and expressive. Put those together, and you get a dynamic where one sets up the moment almost unintentionally and the other amplifies it. This balance is something directors and editors often appreciate even if the audience does not consciously notice it. Scenes become easier to cut because reactions feel connected. Conversations flow more naturally because the actors are responding rather than merely delivering lines. There is also a broader industry reason why their dynamic has been underappreciated. Chinese entertainment tends to categorize pairings quickly: romantic, sibling-like, comedic, or competitive. Shen Yu and Zheyuan do not fit neatly into any of those boxes. Their interactions contain elements of friendship, humor, comfort, and mutual respect all at once. Perhaps the most revealing aspect is how relaxed Shen Yu appears around him. She is an actress who can sometimes seem reserved in highly public settings, yet in certain interactions with Zheyuan, her expressions become noticeably more open. At the same time, he often seems slightly less performative and more conversational around her. This does not prove a hidden romance, and it is important not to turn every comfortable interaction into a relationship rumor. In fact, reducing their connection to romance would miss what makes it unique. The real story is that they appear to have developed a rare kind of professional and personal ease that allows their interactions to feel unusually genuine. The entertainment industry is full of pairings designed to create instant excitement. Shen Yu and Zheyuan represent the opposite phenomenon, a connection that becomes more interesting the longer you observe it. It is built not on spectacle, but on rhythm. Not on dramatic declarations, but on small acts of attention. And maybe that is why so many people never noticed it. The loud moments are easy to remember. The quiet ones are the ones that stay with you. Shen Yu and Zheyuan may never have had the most explosive or most talked about celebrity dynamic, but they had something arguably rarer. A sense of comfort that made their interactions feel alive. In a world where so much entertainment is carefully staged, that kind of effortless synchronization can be more captivating than any viral headline.